Yesterday his words were warm, almost effortless, and you went to sleep with your shoulders down. Today the screen stays dark, and the quiet starts to feel like a verdict. The mug on your counter cools into a thin skin of tea, and you keep turning your phone over like that could change the outcome. You open the thread and reread the last line, hunting for a hidden exit sign. A tiny part of you wants to send a simple, "Hey, are you okay?" But another part is already writing a whole breakup in your head. I hate that I do this. But sometimes silence is not distance, it is depth. The moment a person stops performing and starts confronting what love would require of them. Carl Jung wrote about the unconscious as the part of us that moves before we have language. And you can see it in real life when someone goes quiet because they are afraid of saying the wrong thing, or of finally saying the true thing. The question is not just why he is silent, but what his silence is building. It is 11:48 p.m., and the kitchen is lit by that soft yellow under-cabinet glow that makes everything look gentler than it feels. Your mug of tea sits near the edge of the counter. Steam long gone. The surface turned dull like it has given up trying to stay warm. You set your phone beside it, face up, as if the screen might light itself out of mercy. You tell yourself you are just being reasonable, just checking one more time, but your thumb has a memory of its own, the kind that knows exactly where the thread is without looking, the kind that opens the chat like a reflex. The last message from him sits there like a small closed door, and you stand in front of it, waiting for a hinge to move. The quiet does something strange to the mind. It takes the shape of whatever you fear most, and then it starts offering evidence. Maybe he is losing interest. Maybe he met someone else. Maybe you said too much last night when your voice was soft and hopeful, and you let the truth show. You can almost feel your heart leaning forward, trying to pull an answer out of the dark. And yet, if you stay in the room with what is actually here, it is not only panic, there is also a different texture underneath it. Something slower. You can admit that his last words were not cruel, and that nothing in the past 24 hours has proven you are unwanted. Only that you are waiting. This is where so many women start bargaining. You draft a message and smooth it into something casual. You add a laughing emoji to hide your need. You try to sound like the kind of woman who never wonders. Your finger hovers over send, and you feel that old impulse. The one that believes love is something you secure through effort. But look at the tea. It is still there, even cooling, even unattended. You do not have to turn yourself into a performance to deserve an answer. You can let the quiet be information instead of a punishment. And you can let his next action tell you what this silence means. In your head, a line forms, almost like a prayer, but plain. This silence is not cold. It feels like he is learning how to breathe. And for the first time tonight, you do not chase the screen. You simply watch it. And you watch yourself. And you choose to stay with what is real. The hallway outside your apartment is narrow and oddly bright, the motion sensor light clicking on like a spotlight, then fading as if it is bored of your hesitation. You stand with your keys in your hand, metal teeth pressing into your palm, because you have not gone inside yet. It is that small stalling behavior you do when you do not want to meet the silence in a quieter room. Your phone buzzes with nothing. Not even a notification. Just that phantom expectation that makes you check anyway. You unlock it, open the thread, and your chest tightens at the same empty space. There is a message forming in you, already dressed up to sound easy. Hey, hope your day was okay. Just checking in. It is polite. It is soft. It is also a hook. You type it out. Then stare at it long enough to hear your own thoughts behind it. If I send this, I will feel better for 10 minutes. If I send this, I will also teach my nervous mind that panic gets rewarded with action. You can feel two parts of you arguing, one that wants relief and one that wants dignity. I almost text. I do not. You delete the message, and the empty text box looks like a dare. The light above you flickers again as you shift your weight, and you realize your body is bracing like something bad is about to happen. You exhale, not dramatically, just enough to soften your jaw. And you do the simplest thing that still counts as strength. You choose one clean boundary for the night, not a rule to manipulate him, not a test, not a strategy, just a standard for yourself. I will not send a second message into a silence. I will not chase an answer at midnight. If he wants to be in my life, he will have to step forward, not watch me shrink into guessing. You unlock your door, step inside, and let the hallway light die behind you. The apartment smells faintly like laundry detergent and yesterday's candle, and you can hear your refrigerator hum, steady and indifferent. You put your phone face down on the table for the length of a shower. And in that small act, you are not withholding love. You are withholding your own abandonment. He is in the grocery store parking lot, engine off, rain fine enough to look like fog until it hits the windshield and makes a soft ticking sound. The neon sign from the store washes the car in pale blue, and everything feels slightly unreal, like a scene paused mid-sentence. His phone sits in the cup holder, face down, as if even the light from it would ask too much. He rolls a silver ring between his fingers, over and over, the way some people worry a seam on their sleeve. It is not romantic. It is a stall. If he keeps his hands busy, he does not have to do the one thing that would change the shape of his life. Because the truth is, he started to feel something that did not fit into his usual script. Not the fun kind of interest that stays on the surface. Something weighty. Like the moment you realize you have been living with your heart half closed and you cannot pretend you did not notice it. So he goes quiet, not to punish you, but to negotiate with himself. He thinks, if I send the wrong message, I will look needy. If I say it plainly, she will see how much she matters. If she sees how much she matters, I might have to grow up where I usually disappear. He opens the thread, types one sentence, and deletes it. He tries again, and the words come out either too polished or too distant, like he is choosing between a mask and a wall. The silence is not empty for him right now. It is crowded, and this is the part you rarely get to witness. The part that makes the gap feel personal when it is actually internal. He is reconciling the man who could charm his way through anything with the man who has to show up without charm. He sits there for 2 full minutes, staring at the rain, as if the weather could answer for him. Then he turns the ring one more time and exhales through his nose. A small sound of surrender. He is not ready to be fluent in this, but he is trying to become honest. The only question that matters is what he does next. Back in your apartment, the air feels too still, like the walls are listening. You sit on the edge of the bed with your phone in your hand, and the glow makes your face look tired in the dark window. You scroll up, then down, then up again, as if the answer might be hiding between his commas. Your mind turns the silence into a courtroom. You become the prosecutor, holding up tiny exhibits the last time he was online. The speed of his replies yesterday, the way he said goodnight without a heart emoji. And the judge in your head is impatient, because uncertainty feels like danger, even when nothing has happened yet. I notice how quickly a quiet gap becomes a courtroom in our minds. A pattern I keep seeing is that we call it distance before we check for fear, shame, or effort. Here's what tends to happen the more we demand instant reassurance. The more the moment turns into a test instead of a bridge. Carl Jung used the word unconscious for the part of us that acts before we can explain ourselves. In plain life, it is the moment someone pulls back because the feeling is bigger than their skill, and they do not yet know how to hold it without dropping it. So here is the question that changes everything. Is this silence empty? Or is it working on something? When you picture him, do you see a man enjoying control? Or a man wrestling with sincerity? You do not answer by guessing. You answer by watching what he builds after the quiet. You place your phone on the nightstand, not dramatically, just firmly. Like setting down a hot pan. The room smells faintly of your shampoo, and you can hear the small click of the heater turning on. You let the silence stay unanswered for tonight, and you let tomorrow be a place where actions have to speak. His living room is dark except for the thin green glow of a digital clock. 217 stares back at him like a dare. The TV is off. No background noise to soften the thoughts. Just the quiet pressure of his own breathing. He opens a notes app and starts typing with his thumbs. Fast at first, like he is trying to outrun embarrassment. Hey, sorry I went quiet. Been a long day. Then he pauses, reads it, and feels how hollow it sounds. He deletes it. He writes again. More honest this time. And that honesty scares him. I felt close to you last night and it threw me. He reads it and winces. Not because it is wrong, but because it is real. He deletes it too. What you never see during his silence is how much of it is editing. He is not looking for pretty words. He is looking for true words. Words that do not make you responsible for his fear. And words that do not turn tenderness into something he can laugh off later. This is the turning point where silence becomes either depth or damage. Processing is one thing. Vanishing without repair is another. If the quiet is only a way to keep you suspended, to keep you guessing, to keep you small enough to accept crumbs, then it is not love finding its shape. But if the quiet is followed by accountability, you will feel the difference immediately. Not in poetry. In behavior, he will name the gap without you dragging it out of him, and he will not punish you for having felt it. He finally types a sentence and leaves it there, not deleting this time. I'm sorry I disappeared today. I wasn't trying to pull away from you. I got scared of how much I felt, and I needed a minute to sort it out. Can we talk tomorrow night? He reads it twice, swallows, and hits send. The clock keeps glowing. The room stays dark. But something shifts. Because this time the silence is not a wall. It is a bridge he is actually walking toward you. Morning comes in thin stripes through your blinds, and the apartment looks ordinary again, which almost makes last night feel dramatic. Your phone is on the table where you left it, face down, and when you flip it over, there is still that small flare of dread, like touching a bruise to see if it healed. You do not open the thread yet. You walk to the sink, turn on the tap, and let cold water run over your hands until the sting brings you back into your body. There is a steadiness in tiny actions, the clink of a spoon, the weight of your mug, the smell of coffee. These things do not abandon you. This is what I mean by silence as depth. In plain life, it is when someone stops talking so they can stop lying. Even if the lie was only a polished version of the truth, it is the pause before honesty, not the pause before disappearance. You think about the hallway last night, the keys digging into your palm, the message you deleted. You did not delete it to look mysterious. You deleted it because you refused to beg for clarity from someone who had not yet decided to offer it. So you make yourself a quiet agreement. You can miss him without chasing him. You can want closeness without trading your dignity for it. You can hold the door open without standing in the doorway all day. When you finally check your phone, you do it like a grown woman reading information, not like a girl searching for permission to breathe. If there is a message, you will respond from steadiness. If there is not, you will still eat breakfast, still take your shower, still live your life. Because depth, real depth, is proven by what comes after the silence, not by how long you can endure it, not by how much you can interpret it, by whether he returns with clearer words, and whether you keep your standards when he does. That night, the rain comes back, not dramatic, just steady. A soft knocking on the bedroom window, like someone asking to be let in. The curtains tremble with each small draft, and the room smells like clean sheets, and the last trace of your lotion. You sit up in bed with the lamp off, letting the darkness be kind to your face. Your phone is in your hand, and you can feel how easy it would be to slip into the old pattern. One more check, one more question, one more attempt to make the uncertainty stop. Your thumb hovers over his name like it is hovering over a cliff. I almost text, I do not. Instead, you put one hand on your chest, right where the ache gathers when you are waiting for someone, and you feel your heartbeat like a small animal refusing to go quiet. You listen to the rain and let it be a metronome, not for romance, for reality. You remind yourself of something simple. Love that is becoming real does not require you to shrink into guessing. If he is in a hard internal turn, he will come back with effort. If he is simply fading, your chasing will not make him honest. It will only make you tired. So, you make the smallest choice that changes the mood of the whole night. You place the phone on the nightstand. You turn your face into the pillow. You let the rain keep its rhythm without turning it into a sign. In the dark, you give yourself one quiet permission. I can be disappointed and still be dignified. I can want him and still refuse confusion as a lifestyle. And you fall asleep not because it does not hurt, but because you stopped feeding the hurt with frantic motion. In the morning, his message is not a joke or a breadcrumb or a vague. Been busy. It is plain, almost awkward in its honesty, like a man taking off a coat he has worn too long. He names the gap without making you pry it open, and he offers a real next step. Can we talk tonight at 6:30? You read it twice, and you notice what your body does when words match action. Not fireworks, just a small loosening in your shoulders, like something inside you finally believes it can stop scanning. You answer simply, without punishing him and without erasing yourself. Yes, thank you for saying that. That evening, he shows up where he said he would. Not late, not dramatic, not pretending nothing happened. He looks a little tired, like he did not sleep well, and you can tell he has been living inside his own thoughts. When he speaks, he does not make you the reason for his fear. He makes you the witness to his attempt. Yesterday I went quiet because it felt real, and I didn't know how to hold it without running. Repair looks boring from the outside, but inside it changes everything. He asks one question and actually waits for your answer. And when you tell him what the silence did to you, he does not argue with your feelings. He does not ask you to be smaller so he can be comfortable. And you do not pretend you were fine. You tell the truth in a calm voice, the kind of truth that does not beg. If you need time, say you need time. But don't leave me in a blank room. He nods, And you can see the effort in that nod. The effort of a man choosing presence over escape. Later, back in your kitchen, the same under-cabinet light turns the counter honey-colored. The same mug sits there, rinsed now, ordinary again, and your phone rests beside it like an object, not a judge. The clean standard is simple silence can be a passage, but only if it leads to clearer words and steadier follow-through. If you've lived this, tell me what the quiet taught you